Hello YouTube, LJ Draco here. I'm just going to let you know I had already filmed this video yesterday and it was supposed to be uploaded yesterday, but there was let's say, a copyright problem. Now, because I was quite busy and didn't have time to do the full research for a certain clip, I had asked someone to download a certain clip for me. They didn't tell me it was copyrighted, they just said they downloaded it from their computer and then asked me to use that one. When I realised it was copyrighted after I'd uploaded it, I deleted the video straight away. I didn't make any excuses on YouTube to use it, I just deleted it. And I thought what I'd do is, instead of asking someone else to download it, I would just record the clip myself from the Blu-ray that I own. So, just to let everyone know that the video clip is definitely one that I've recorded. You can tell by the quality that you can still hear it, it's still noticeable, but you'll be able to tell it's definitely a phone recording. You'll see that through the video anyway. But this is going to be my Alice Through the Looking Glass 3D movie review. In the previous video done, which is 15 minutes long, I had gone into full depths about the story and about all the characters. I'm not going to do that because a lot of you people have seen it, so I'm just going to do a little recap about the actual movie itself, and then do the movie review that I'm supposed to be doing, which is about the 3D. Okay, that's the whole point. Everyone knows that all my reviews are a tiny bit about the actual movie, the rest is about the 3D. So a little about the movie, it's basically just Wasaki? I'm just going to call her Maya, or Mia, plays Alice Kingsley in this movie. And she did in the previous movie, she's basically a sea captain. After the first one, she goes abroad and starts doing things like seeing the world. She comes back, there's a bit of a misunderstanding. She bumps into the late Alan Rickman, Absalom, as a butterfly. And he takes her through a trip through the magical looking glass. She ends up back in Underland, but she ends up in this weird room with this chess board that like walks and talks, and she bumps into Humpty Dumpty. Anyway, Absalom, as a big butterfly now, makes her go through this door, where she ends up falling through the sky and lands in this like little circle of pink flowers. And she's surrounded by her friends. Now let's just go for a recap over the friends, the actors, and the characters, okay? So let's start off, obviously, we're not going to start off with the person you think, and I explain why. But let's just start off with one person. Basically, we have Anne Hathaway. Sorry, I'm meant to be wearing glasses because my eyes are getting worse. But wearing the glasses interferes with the reflection of the light, so I'm trying to see properly. Okay, Anne Hathaway as Mirana, the White Queen. She's sitting at the table waiting for Alice to arrive. And we saw her in Alice in Wonderland. She is sisters with another character we're going to talk about a bit later. But around this table, we have her. We also have Matt Lucas's Tweedledee and Tweedledum, which is just lovable little characters. Then we also have Timothy Spore's Bayard, who was the dog that actually tried to help Alice and the Mad Hatter in the first one for Wonderland as well. Then we also got Paul Whitehouse's Thackeray, which is the Scottish rabbit. Now, if you've seen him in the first one as well, I love him. He's like one of the best secondary characters in the movie. Just the fact that you forgot your D, and then throws I love that guy. Then we also have Stephen Fry's Cheshire Cat, which is a very interesting Cheshire Cat. He's not as scary as he was in the cartoon. He's more cuddly and funny in this one, not as like weird and creepy. Then we also have Barbara Windsor's Mulliamkin again. And then we also have Michael Sheen's Mr. Twisp. Okay, so they're all at this little table, and they're the original cast members from the Alice in Wonderland, the Tim Burton one. So we get to see them all again straight away in the first 20 minutes or half an hour of the movie. You get to see them all. Yeah, everyone's going like, "Where's the Mad Hatter?" Now, this movie is basically based on Mad Hatter's story in a way. Even though it's called Alice Through the Looking Glass, it's based on the Mad Hatter, this one, because what's happening is the Mad Hatter had found a hat on the battlefield of Horenvashte, or Horovashte. I'm going to put the name here. Horovundashte or something. And basically, he found the hat that he'd made when he was a kid. His first ever hat was this tiny little hat. And he believes that if his hat survived the Jabberwocky setting fire to the village, then his family must have survived too. He's under this belief, but everyone's telling him that they're not coming back. And he starts getting really ill. His hair starts going from red to white. He starts losing colour in his face. Even though he's quite a pale character, he loses more colour in his face. He starts fading. And then he notices that Alice has returned. Alice knocks on his door. He tells her that if he believes in anyone can bring his family back, it's her. And she point blank just goes, "It's impossible." And he throws her out. And he says that she's not the Alice that he knows. Skipping forward, the White Queen, Miranda, tells Alice that there is a chance. There is a way to save the Mad Hatter's family. And she has to use this thing called the chromosphere, which belongs to Time, who I'm just going to mention. Time is played by Sacha Baron Cohen. Now, Time is my favourite character in this movie. I thought he was going to fail. I thought he was going to be a terrible, terrible character. He actually was very surprising. He is my favourite character. He was hilarious, also quite serious. He was a better... He was who I wanted to see in a movie for a long time. He was actually pretty good. She has to go into this clock, this grandfather clock, where Time himself lives. He is now basically, he has to live an eternity in this clock. And she goes in and she meets with him and tells him what he wants, and he basically gives her a life lesson that you can't change time. It's a lesson that we all have to learn. Things that happened are supposed to happen for a reason. We can't do nothing about it. She doesn't listen. She wants to save the Mad Hatter, so she goes off looking for it. And then we find out that he's also in a relationship with Elizabeth, played by Helena Bonham Carter. She's trying to get the same thing that Alice wants. She wants the chromosphere to travel back in time and punish her sister, and he's telling her the exact same thing. So he's not exactly an evil character. He's like, well, look, I do have feelings for you, but I can't risk life changing because he's attached to this giant clock, this grand clock, and if it breaks or it gets damaged, he dies. He only stays immortal as long as the clock keeps ticking. And going back in time, changing anything, breaking time will destroy Underland. Everything in Underland will be rewritten, forgotten, dust. So skipping forward, Alice escapes with the chromosphere. She goes back in time to when Mad Hatter was known as Hatter Terence Hightop. He's part of the Hightop family who used to make hats and crowns for the royal family, Miranda and Elizabeth. And basically what happens is Alice follows Terence to the church where Elizabeth was meant to be crowned queen. And there's an incident that happens which made Elizabeth go evil and made her head extend even more than it was already huge. And she runs off in a huff and a puff, and Terence's dad kind of gives him this fatherly talk like, "Oh, you're an embarrassment. You'll never be a Hightop." So Terence runs off, and we find out that something happened between the sisters when they were kids. So now Alice is under this impression that if she goes back in time and stops that from happening, then the Red Queen Elizabeth won't have to go back in time to punish her sister because it'll all kind of fix itself. As she kind of zooms off trying to find what happened, Time follows her to the town where Terence is and smashes next to the tea party table. Yeah, this is basically this is the best scene in the whole movie, and this is the bit that's worth watching. And he basically he shows them a picture. Oh no, he doesn't. Sorry, I'm wrong. No, he doesn't. And I don't know. It's either I can't remember if he shows them a picture or if he just tells them like a girl with yellow hair, blue eyes, like pale skin, and the Hatter kind of goes like, "Oh well, yes, well I've invited her to tea. She should be here any moment." And then it just becomes this part really good scene. It's like the bit that makes it quite interesting because you don't expect this to happen. But it was all the great cheesy old puns about time, and it was quite fun and exciting, so it was worth watching. But then skip ahead. They all get captured eventually by Elizabeth. Elizabeth and Miranda take a trip on the chromosphere back in time to when they were kids to find out what happened. And I'm just going to leave it there, because I can't tell you about the ending. Although I can tell you about one thing. Elizabeth was hiring these vegetable slash plant people, and when they captured Alice and the Hatter and all the other characters, oh, pardon me, and the other characters, she broke the carrot nose off of this one woman plant and started eating it. And this big thing happens, and it skips back to that scene where they're all in the cage, and you see the cage open, and it's the woman with the nose missing, and she goes, "She ate my snozzle." It's just, it's quite funny. Yeah, so that's. I'm not going to tell you much about the rest of the film because I don't want to ruin too much. You guys need to see it if you haven't seen it. If you have seen it, then you know. But I don't want to tell you way too much about it. Anyway, that's just a movie review, right? And I'm going to tell you that I liked it. I did enjoy it. I thought it was going to be terrible, but it was actually a really good movie. Now to the 3D. This is the part that everyone watches my reviews for, is about me talking about the 3D part of the movie. So let's get into this. If you own Alice in Wonderland on 3D, then you already know that was full screen, it was in depth, it was pop out, and it was a beautiful imagination of sequences mixed together to give you the best home 3D entertainment possible. Let's just say they made a second part of exactly that. It was full screen, not widescreen, full screen, pop out, in depth, and it was just so clear. And I don't like using this word because it sounds too weird, but it was crisp. It was just, usually when you put the 3D glasses on when you watch a 3D movie, yes, the screen does get darker, you don't get all the nice colours, but for some reason, you did watching this. Watching Alice in Wonderland with the glasses on, it looked extremely dark, but when you watch through the Looking Glass in 3D, you can still notice all of those beautiful colours they've used to make the movie. So, this is one of the best 3D Disneys to be released in a very long time. There's been like I said in lots of videos, 3D has this big thing, especially with Disney. Disney 3D has this big thing about letting us down a lot. Incredibly a lot. If you check out previous videos, I've done a video, right? Now, it was a while back. You're gonna have to look through all my videos. I'll probably put like a little screenshotted image here of that video. It's where I had every single UK 3D Disney movie to be released at that time. I think 5 of those actual titles had great 3D. 5 out. If you check how many I had, only 5 of those had good 3D. The rest didn't. It sucks because you think Disney movies, though, the amount of graphics and technology and color they put into their movies, that they would have some form of a really big, famous 3D viewing system, but it isn't great. Disney 3D is always a hit and a miss. It's always like, you never guarantee the greatness. I mean, Beauty and the Beast, I was so dreading it because when you watch Lion King in 3D, you don't really notice it as much. In the original 3D release, you didn't get much 3D. In the second release, to match the newer number slips, they kind of increased the 3D a tiny bit, so it looked a bit more watchable. But Beauty and the Beast is a fantastical visual image. I mean, Beauty and the Beast is probably the best Disney 3D movie to be released. Second best is Tangled. Third and fourth best is the Alice Through the Looking Glasses. It's through the looking glasses. Which makes it sound like she wears glasses. You know what I mean? That's Alice in Wonderland, Alice Through the Looking Glass. Yeah. You know what I meant, guys. Come on. But Disney has to think about letting us down. But with this, as a recent Disney 3D release, they did a phenomenal, fantastic job. And I am impressed. So not only was this movie great, the 3D movie was great. So guys, you know what this time is for? This time is for the actual rating. Now, you know how my ratings go. My ratings are based on how good the movie was and how good the 3D was. So let's say if a movie was about to get like an A or a B, but the 3D was bad, it would get about a B minus or something like that. It wouldn't. I mean, other than I think Warcraft just got an A for me, even with the 3D because the movie was great and the 3D wasn't as great. But it was still a very watchable movie. So I could have gone for a B minus, a bit B. But then I would have felt like I was robbing the movie of how great the movie was. So that's why Warcraft stayed as an A. But this gets an A+. Smack bang, straight there. A+. Just because of how beautiful the movie was in 2D and in 3D. It doesn't matter which version you watch, because they're both going to give you that visually stunning image that you want. But I tell you something now. If you do not watch Alice Through the Looking Glass or Alice in Wonderland in 3D, if you don't watch them in 3D, it honestly seems like you're missing out on a very big part of this movie. Don't know why, but it just the 3D movies for these releases have to be watched because of how much they feel like they actually give you. They give you a lot. So anyway guys, that is the end of this video and this review. I'm sorry this was supposed to be up yesterday along with Warcraft, but as I said, YouTube done this stupid thing where the whole copyright thing, and I wouldn't mind, but I edited it a second time and got rid of that clip, and they still classed my video as copyright even though the clip weren't in it. I didn't even put my clip in there. I uploaded the video without the clip and apologized that the clip wasn't in it, but they still classed it as that, so I don't know what happened. Hopefully this one will be up, and when it is up, because they've been using my clip, hopefully you guys will get to enjoy it. Anyway guys, you know how this works. If you like this review and previous reviews, please show your support by clicking that subscribe button down below, and don't forget to strike the like for future videos, and I will see you guys next time.